but you can call me Arin or Rinda. The last four digits of my student number are 2031. On this occasion, I will tell you my past experience about my study tour when I was in senior high school. Why I will tell you about that? Because in my opinion, it was a very memorable study tour for me. Because my school study tour at the time was very different from the other schools. But before that, I will describe a little about my senior high school first. My senior high school is in the Tangerang district. Even though it's different from the province where I live in Bogor, the senior high school has become a favorite school for Bogor students, especially my junior high school students. The distance from my house to the senior high school may be around 30 minutes by motorbike and about 1 hour if I use the train and public transport car. When my senior high school was first established, the teacher said that in the past the school was more in demand by Bogor students, so that the majority of students were students from Bogor. And until now, my senior high school was still a favorite school for students from Bogor and students in the surrounding area. My senior high school used to be a school that has many activities that are routinely carried out every year, such as performing arts, participating in competition at various levels, university bazaars and seminars, study tours, Gas to Campus, and many more. Study tour activities are organized for 10th grade students, while Gas to Campus is organized for 11th grade students. When I was in 10th grade, our batch was given two choices of destination for study tours. The first choice is went to tourist attraction in Bandung, and the second option is to the Baduy. To choose a study tour destination, we were given a questionnaire, and each student had to choose one of the two destinations. After all the questionnaires were collected, it turned out that many preferred went to Baduy, and I am also one of the students who chose went to Baduy because I like to go to unique place, and I also think that Bandung tourist attraction can be easily visited at another time. But if I go to Baduy by myself, it will be more difficult because I have to ask permission first to the traditional head who was there. One day before leaving, the students of my batch were briefed by the teacher and the committee on what we should and should not do while we were there. Because Baduy is not an arbitrary place, the Baduy tribe strongly adheres to the customs of their ancestors, especially the Inner Baduy tribe. The Inner Baduy really value nature. They are not at all affected by technology. They still live their lives depending on nature. On the day of departure, my batch of students had gathered at the school from 5:30 a.m. and we left at 7 a.m. by bus. From school to destination, it takes about 3 until 4 hours. And when we arrived there, we took a break to eat and pray first. After we finished resting, we continued on foot to get to the Inner Baduy, where we were staying this night. From the outer Baduy to the Inner Baduy, there are no facials at all. We have to walk around 3 until 4 hours. On the way, we were accompanied by teachers and also the committee. During the trip, we were given very beautiful natural scenery. After half the journey, the committee advised us to turn off our cell phones and not turn them on until tomorrow we return from Inner Baduy. Because in Inner Baduy, we were not allowed to use any technology. The journey to Inner Baduy is not easy. The road we have to go to is hills, so it's quite exhausting for us. But don't be afraid if the drinking water runs out, because during the trip, there is a source of water that can be drunk directly. After arrived at Inner Baduy, my friends and I immediately played water in the river. After the evening, we went into the residence house where we slept for this night. In the evening, each committee spoke with students in each resident house to remind us of what we had to take care of while there and to inform us that tomorrow morning we will return home. And you know what? There are no bathrooms. People used to clean themselves in the river. But don't worry if the river is dirty, because the river there is a flowing river, so the river water remains clean. The next morning at around 8 a.m., we packed up to go home. The road we took when we came and went was different, because to get to the inner Baduy, there were more than 3 roads that could be passed. When we arrived at the outer Baduy, we are allowed to use our cell phones again. At the outer Baduy, we were given enough time to rest and also buy special Baduy souvenirs. After that, we went straight home by bus. And we arrived at the school around 6:30 p.m. And after being absent, I went straight home by train. Although the journey was quite tiring and we only stayed one night there, the experience we got was very memorable. Okay guys, I think this story is enough to explain a little about how my school was and how my study tour experience to Baduy when I was in senior high school, where the study tour at the time was the most memorable study tour for me. And I think that's all. Thank you. Bye.